You came to LA this week to peek into the future. But if all you want is next generation, you're in the wrong place. Because what you'll see from Nintendo is not just next. Instead, it's what's absolutely new. What we're unveiling is the next leap in gaming, to a place where playing is no longer just about looks, it's about the feel. Where it's no longer confined to just a few, it's about everyone. And most of all, the next leap is not about what you see, because what you see is not always what you get. The next leap is about playing, because playing is believing. The graveyard of any industry is filled with the headstones of companies who decided to keep doing things the same old way. Playing only on the margin, making things just a little bit better. In the same way that Super Mario 64 changed everything, we asked, how do we make games that feel entirely new all over again? This week, every one of you will feel our answer. Let me just say that on behalf of the names you love from Nintendo and our partners, we can't wait to show you what's on the way. It is by far the best Zelda game we've ever made. And it's also the most beautiful game Nintendo has ever made. But just as importantly, it's breaking precedent. Because this is the first Zelda game that will be right there on launch day alongside a new Nintendo system.
The first thing you'll notice on screen in the Wii version is the presence of a fairy. This fairy indicates where you'll be pointing with the Wii Remote's pointer. You'll use this on a very basic level to access all of your menu screens, select your items. It's very intuitive, it's very nice, it's very easy to use, and I think you're all going to like it. But, you know, menus aren't that exciting, so why don't we get into some of the more intense battles? your basic sword swings are handled using the B button on the bottom of the Wii remote. But of course, not all of your enemies are going to be within reach. Some of them you're going to have to get at from a distance. And that's where Link's bow comes in handy. Like all distance weapons, the bow is going to be aimed using the pointer on the Wii remote. Now, as Nate's showing us here, as you aim, there's a circle in the center of the screen. Within that circle, your targeting cursor moves independently. Outside it, the camera moves with it. The beauty of this control scheme is that it's intuitive. There's no more inverted shooting, just point and shoot. And it adds realism to the game. It feels like you're actually aiming with a bow. It's not some controller. Now, with the bow, the Wii remote also adds depth of sound. And this is where we can finally start to unveil some of the secrets that still remain about the controller. Built into the Wii remote is a speaker. You'll hear the bowstring draw taut. You'll hear the whip of the arrow. And then you'll hear that sound travel from your hand to the TV, where that arrow will plunge into the chest of your enemy. That's depth of sound that no other controller and no other system can offer. And I know that other developers already have a whole lot of very unique ideas about how to take advantage of this feature. Now here we have Nate showing us some more intense battle. And as I mentioned, basic sword swing is on the B button. But you're also going to be using the motion sensing capabilities of the Wii remote. A quick jab with the Wii remote, and Link does a shield shove, knocking your enemy silly. And the great thing is you feel the impact of that shove with the built-in rumble feature. Now watch, oh, Nate's already taken care of him, so we'll do that later. With the boomerang, you'll also be using the pointer to aim. So what we're going to show you here is some basic Zelda puzzle solving. It's the same type of thing that you've come to experience in Zelda games, the same type of thing you've come to expect. Twilight Princess is going to feature a great deal of it. Now what we're showing you here today is just a very simple, stripped-down version of a single dungeon. A tiny little area of a single dungeon, and probably what's going to be one of the greatest Zelda games ever. So if Nate can take care of these guys with his bow here really quickly. Oh, Nate. Oh, you're the only person in America who's played this game and you still can't do this? Come on.
Samus is back. And Metroid Prime 3, Corruption. You'll not only do more running and gunning, but both the Wii Remote and Nunchuk controllers, each with its own motion sensor, will pump up your heart rate like never before. It's both the new Metroid and the most intuitive first-person shooter ever. And Mario is back too. His brand new adventure for Wii is called Super Mario Galaxy. And with freehand control, Mr. Miyamoto has given Mario moves he's never had before. Swing your hand to bat away objects, grab onto shooting stars with the pointer, swim through space, and skip along the stratosphere. Remember how you always tilted the controller like handlebars when you played Excitebike? Well, now you're holding the steering wheel of a big damn truck, and the terrain deforms beneath you in real time. This feels like driving. Next, isn't it just fun to bash things? In Project H.A.M.M.E.R, swing the controller and the bad guys get nailed. But what happens if the bad guy is Mother Nature? Survive or not, it's your call in Disaster, Day of Crisis. Come feel the panic and bring the catastrophe under your control. When Sega saw the new control system, they said, it's time to put Sonic back into gear. Finally, the Speedster is totally under your control. Look up, the mothership is about to land, and Square Enix is arriving with an exclusive iteration of its legendary series with Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. Yet again, we will take what is familiar and reinvent it. And Rayman's traveled to many platforms for Ubisoft over the last 10 years. But if you think you know Rayman, wait until you see him with Wii.
Red Steel is a first-person action game set in both USA and Japan. in which the player will have to learn to master both modern firearms and the katana sword, taking, of course, full advantage of the Wii controller. Roman, as you can see, is using the nunchuck controller in his left hand to move, and he's able to look around and to fire his gun with the other controller simply by pressing the trigger button. With the Wii controller, you can handle the gun the way you want, and at the first time, simply by moving your hand, like in real life. So if you want to play it gangsta style, you can. And it's the same to open a door. As you have seen earlier, there is no button to push. Do it like you do at home. Just turn your hand or push the door very hard. For the very first time in a game, you will really feel like both your hands have entered the screen. You are in the game. As you can see through the demo, you should at least. There are many graphical details. Yeah, it comes back. Yeah. So I don't know if we will start that you have many graphical details from destructible environments, explosions, real-time physics, soft bodies, which really help to create an immersive experience for the player. So this is a little warm-up with enemies before we go into more details. So now let's play Pachinko. The game will feature a variety of handguns and semi-automatic weapons, shotgun of course, as you will see. And now we'll be speaking more precisely about IA in the game. So once again, destructible environments. And enemies, surprisingly in a game, really care for themselves. That means that depending on their level of trust, they will hide themselves, they will go for cover, and they will try to attack you from the back and try, of course, to control the situation. That will help to keep the action fast-paced. We also have a system of AI that we can call a clan system. That means that when the enemies have a leader, they will rely on him. So if he has been disarmed by the player, or if he has been killed, then they will act differently. So now, Roman is going to show us a feature of the game, which is called the freeze shot. This feature will be very useful in tricky situations. So simply by holding a button, the player will be able to freeze time, and then will be able to tag weak points on enemies. You then will have to choose between killing those enemies or making them submit to you.
Your life ends here.
In this scene, you will be able to see the freeze shot. Once again, destructible environments everywhere in the game. The one woman will tag the weak points, disarming or killing.
Okay, you win.
So as you have seen, he killed a man, and then the boss is submitting to you. Then you can decide on what you want to do. Sit down, for instance, like this. Just simply by moving your left hand to indicate what you want him to do. We have God rays. Oh. Little surprise, collateral damage on the boss. Roman will now have to take on his next enemy. and for that we'll have to draw his sword.
How dare you throw a katana?
So once again, the moves you have to make for the sword fighting are very intuitive. You can block with your left hand and slash with your right hand in any direction. That means that you will have dozens of combinations to do.
Not even close! これだけか。
This will be very easy to handle, thanks to the Wii controller, but of course very hard to master. Thanks a lot for letting us introduce you to Red Steel, even if we had some small problems. But everybody will be able to play it tomorrow at the Nintendo booth. Thanks a lot.
In terms of actual sell-through to players, the DS has sold more than 16 million units worldwide since its launch just 18 months ago. Now, independent sources put total worldwide PSP sell-through to consumers at millions less. And in just a few weeks, the newest handheld sensation arrives here in America, Nintendo DS Lite. It's smaller, lighter, and brighter than the original. And if the Japan experience is any teacher, it will be even more popular than the original. In only a week, you'll be playing an all-new Mario game, which is the very picture of old school. The environments, the characters, and motions look familiar, but with new spinning blue shells and the ability for two players to pit Mario against Luigi wirelessly, this is a brand new Mario game, which will appeal to brand new players. Now, other Hall of Fame Nintendo names are also on the way, including Yoshi, Star Fox, and Diddy Kong. And I know that if you're a Final Fantasy fan here in the West, there's always been something missing in your life. Final Fantasy III. Well, prepare to be fulfilled. The legendary title is coming to America on the DS, complete with a compelling storyline, but made even better with improved 3D graphics. DS is also getting its own exclusive Zelda title, The Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass. Picking up where Wind Waker left off, you'll now use your DS stylus to direct sailing, swordplay, and even the path of your boomerang.
The industry has always tried to improve in the same direction with games that are more gorgeous and more complex. But in order to approach lapsed or former gamers and non-gamers, these types of games cannot serve our purpose. The logical solution is to reinvent the relationship between player and game, the game controller interface. We believe this approach can appeal to a much broader audience, but also excite core gamers. This is important because core gamers always represent our most important audience. Today, there are people who play and people who do not. We will help destroy that wall between them. Regardless of age, gender, and game experience, anyone can instantly understand Wii. And we can provide anyone with fresh, new experiences. Every day, there is something new. For everyone, every day. This is our answer. Thank you very much.
Control is simple and intuitive. Even your mom can play. Just grip the Wii remote like a tennis racket. I'll show you. Let me explain in Japanese. Toss up.
To serve, you just toss and serve. One swift stroke.
One hand,
You hit forehands,
forehands,
backhands.
robin,
You can swing low to high to hit lobs.
top spin,
Twist the remote as you're swinging for top spin or backspin. And hopefully you'll keep it in bounds.
あんまりね、I'm pro player あんまり上手じゃないんでね、
I'm not quite as good as I hoped at this game.
誰かに手伝ってもらおうと。
Why don't we, Reggie, why don't you come out? Do we have anybody that we could possibly play against?
Yeah, I think I could find someone to play. I think we're ready to go. Mr. Iwata, maybe this year I can just take the names and you can kick the,
Go ahead and
you
run your
know.
hand through the strap.
Yes, of course. That is my job.
Wow.
Play around.
Looks like we've got Mr. Iwata both here on stage and in the game.
Go for it.
Okay.
Who's that handsome devil?
And there's our winner.
Okay. いきます。
So we've got Mr. Miyamoto and his partner on the left side, and we've got Reggie and Mr. Iwata on the right. So again, toss and serve. Look at forehand, backhand.
Game point.
Uh-oh. As you can see, this is a quick, shortened version of tennis. 3 points and you lose. So let's see if our executive team here can make a comeback. Oh, no.
もう一回やりますか？
もう一回やります。
That was quick. Maybe we
need
should
a
give these guys
rematch.
another chance.
じゃあこっち行きます。
A little rematch.
リマッチ。Come on.
Nice serve.
Oh, nice.
Oh, Reggie.
Good.
Oh, very good.
You know, I
Very
would have
good.
thought you'd have a little more power in that, Reggie.
You're distracting me. What is this? Here we go.
Okay. It's your serve.
I sense a comeback. Oh, tied game.
1 point remaining for right players.
頑張るぞ。よし。
Nice.
Mr. Miyamoto, you pulled it out in the end.
What a shot.
Very good.
Here's our take. What's hot is the feel of the game. The look is secondary. What's hot is the next leap, not just a small step. It's hot if it's disruptive. It's not if it's predictable. The future of our industry is inclusion, not exclusion. It's about the heat of emotion, not the chill of technology. We know that the future is right here. We and the DS represent the same thing, risk. Risk allows progress. We're a company that doesn't run from risk, we run to it. Change is good. We were the disruptor 20 years ago, and we still are today. DS is only the latest example. We will come next. Every year, we hope you'll walk out of our media briefing saying, yeah, these guys are the hot story of the show. But you know what? Today, we're not asking that. Of course, we hope you like what you've seen so far. But in reality, we also know that seeing is just an impression. Playing is believing. Thank you all. We look forward to seeing you on our show floor tomorrow.